For everyone, I guess.
Yeah. Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday, and we are 2 days away from Christmas, and tomorrow is Christmas Eve. And Taj and I, we were just commenting moments ago that we can already start feeling it, right? In the sense that we could see that the market, and especially the big participants like the Wall Street analysts, it's slowing down today, right? Today when I was doing my research, I had to dig, right? I had to really search and dig for research for us to compile for today, because there's not a lot of analysts putting out research notes today because, hey, they take breaks as well. So we are approaching the holidays, and one thing that occurs during the holidays is that the stock market is traded with lower volume. So we've definitely got to be careful, trying to take bigger size today. I think today is a perfect day where we can trade light, make our base hits, and if our base hits become, home run trades or doubles or triples, then I think we can obviously cash in the register there and take advantage of that. Just like yesterday, Taj and I started off the day saying, "Hey, let's focus on base hits today," and yesterday ended up being a home run day for a lot of people. So I think today's just going to be, let's go into today with the same mindset we had yesterday, right? I think that's what I'm trying to say. So with that, let's get started. So I've got a couple names here that are going to be similar names that we've played yesterday and the day prior. The first one's going to be Fubo. So Fubo is gapping down today. It's popping a little bit from the basing it had at 54.60. We had an analyst come out and cut Fubo's price target to $50. BMO Capital gave that downgrade. They essentially downgraded it to a market perform. So what does that mean? They just simply mean that the stock has reached its highest valuation from a stock price perspective, and they think there is very little, maybe, and probably to no more room to the upside. So which is why the stock is pulling down. So right now, I think Fubo is definitely going to be in play because there's a lot of momentum in pre-market, a lot of trading action occurring. So at the moment, I am not going to have any bias on it. I do think that Fubo could come down further if we pull up a daily chart on it. The daily RSI, including today's pre-market data, is at 80.75. It was at over 90 yesterday. So yesterday would have been a great day to start a short position, but that would have been extremely aggressive, and I would not have recommended that to anybody. But today we're getting that pullback. I think, honestly, this stock could potentially visit 52 range in the next couple days. Not saying that'll hit today. If it does hit today, that'll be crazy. But I think 52 would be something realistic for it. The daily A is still at $40.75. So it's pretty extended, right? It's pretty extended, and that's why I'm not surprised that we're getting this pullback. So with that being said, on Fubo, I've marked up my charts here. If Fubo breaks past 57.54, I would actually, it would look more like a reversal on the downward trend. You would have to put your stops at 56 though, right? So that's about $1.50 risk. If this breaks below, let's say it starts to sell off and breaks below 55, I think we can start to take a short position. We'd have to put our stops at like 56, right? Just to keep our stops tight. And if it breaks pre-market low, boom, we're going straight down. So that's the idea I've got on Fubo. Nikola is another name. I haven't traded this stock since for the last couple of weeks now, but NKLA. So this stock is getting hurt today because I put on the Stock Alerts channel that Republic Services discontinued their collaboration on the truck development due to longer than expected development time and unexpected costs. What happened to the stock? Boom! It's getting hurt real bad. It's actually bear flagging right now in pre-market.
Yeah.
If you pull up a 1-year chart on Nikola, this thing, man, was at like $10, rallied to 94, had that whole deal with GM, and this was going to be the next Tesla. And look at this thing. Came straight back down. So, I honestly think in a couple of weeks maybe, we're going to see Nikola back at trading at $10 probably. Or $12 around there. So, I want to keep an eye on Nikola today. Because it's bear flagging in pre-market, I know it's popping a little bit right now. But if it breaks $15, I think I'll take a short on it. It would have to break pre-market lows of 1480, and then we could slam it down, right? I don't know how much more damage could come into the stock today because it closed yesterday at 1683, gapping down $1.50. So let's just be patient on the setup. But there's going to be a lot of movement on Nikola today. If it is creating some basing action here. So if Nikola wants to rip higher, you could play it long, but you're going to have to put your stops at 15. Right? So there's two ways that you can play it. I would prefer to kind of look for the short opportunity, but right now, if you did want to play it for the pop, you could do that. Just put your stops at $15. So it would be right now a 30-cent risk. There are some other names that I've got. Plug is another name that I want to keep an eye on. It's gapping up today. We've got some continued momentum on an amazing day we had yesterday. We played Plug yesterday, and a lot of us nailed that stock. It's gapping up today, primarily because of the news that there is going to be charging station infrastructure monies, right? That is part of the government funding bill that the Congress, I guess, just negotiated and passed on the Senate. So that's why these stocks like Plug and FCEL are both gapping up. I like the setup on FCEL a little bit better because FCEL is holding itself up really nicely. If it breaks above $12, guys, this is all-time highs on the stock. It's already gapping up into all-time highs, but if we break pre-market highs, we're going to have a really nice rally on it. We would have to put our stops essentially at like 1150, 1155. Man, it's about to do it. It's literally about to do what I wanted to do at the open. So FCEL is definitely going to be in play, and along with Plug, I want to keep an eye on both of these. Right now with Plug, since it is kind of selling off a little bit in pre-market, I would want to see it come back and test the highs of 37.75 before I kind of get excited, break out for a pre-market high, and then run to probably 38, 38.50, right? So that's my idea on Plug. FCEL, it's about to do it right now. So there it goes, $12.
Yeah, it's right at 12, yeah.
Boom. It's going to break out of pre-market highs right now. So
the volume spike too.
Yep, 150,000 shares just came in. So it's doing exactly what we wanted, which is fine because it's going to be in play today, right? So we're going to still get an opportunity with it. So those two names are definitely going to be names I'm going to watch very closely today. PLTR is another name, gapping up pretty nicely. Well, right now about 60 cents or so. But PLTR got some news. Let me pull it up again. They signed a 2-year contract with the United Kingdom National Health Services worth up to $31.5 million. Stock is gapping up. I think the stock potentially can have more room to the upside. If you pull up a daily chart on PLTR, it's really got no daily resistance until about once we start approaching $30. And we got a little bit of resistance right here, $29.50. Then you hit around the $30 range. If it breaks out at 30, I mean, we could potentially see 31, and then you got the test of all-time highs, 33.48. I'm not saying all that's going to happen today, right? But those are just the levels that we got to keep our eyes on. So if PLTR does want to go for a run, I could definitely see like 29.40, 29.50. If I pull up level 2, which let me give a quick little review on level 2 here. So level 2, on the right side you have the bidders, so the people who want to buy the stock, they've got a bid out in the market for it, so typically with limit orders. And then you have on the right side you have your sellers, which is the asking price. They've got a sell order with a limit, right? So right now in PLTR, the lowest limit order is 28.67, or excuse me, 28.68, but the lowest bid is 28.65. So there's a 3-cent spread right now, And once those two prices are met, that's when a transaction occurs. That's when someone sells their stock so that the other person can buy it at the bidding price, right? Or if you just submit a market order to buy, you essentially just buy the stock at the lowest asking price. So that's pretty much how to read level 2. And I just wanted to give that little glimpse because I had some people asking me questions and about level 2. So I just wanted to give that little brief overview. Now, we do have a day trading bootcamp where we do go into very full extent on how to day trade live with level 2 and where to find overhead resistance, right, when it comes to level 2, and where to find support levels using level 2. So that's something that is a little bit more intense, but I just wanted to give a brief overview on how to read level 2, okay? Other than PLTR, I'll keep an eye on, Moderna. Moderna is gapping down. If you guys remember, we were trading this stock back at when it was at like $160. And look at it now, at 121. So pretty insane sell-off here. And Myrna is gapping down. Right now, I've marked up 121.87. If it breaks above 121.87, we could look to go long. We'll probably have to put our stops at 120.77. So you're already looking at a $1 risk. If it breaks below 120.77, I may even just look for a short opportunity and put my stops at 121.87, right? So I'm willing to risk $1 for a potential $1 downside or more. So those are the stocks that I'm looking at. I'm also going to keep an eye on Apple and Tesla. They're moving pretty nicely in pre-market. So Apple and Tesla are going to be other names that I'm going to watch closely. So I'm looking at the time, and I don't want to take more time because I want to give Taj his time to go over his stocks. So Taj, let me pass it on to you.
Yeah, I didn't even have FCEL on my watch list, but this just immediately became number one.
Yep.
Yeah, FCEL just popped. As soon as it popped through 12, it just ran up to 12.30. And that was a setup. That was a setup. We were looking for a pre-market. You had a nice bull flag. Yeah, got 3 stops here at 11.70, 30-cent risk.
Mm-hmm.
You're up 1-1.
Right
No
there.
problem on that play. Yeah. So I still want to keep an eye on it though because it's moving.
Right.
And that's what we want to keep a close eye on today. With the market, we have the holidays approaching. The volume may be light across the board with the market, so we really want to make sure that we're taking trades that are actually being traded, right?
Yes.
There's heavy volume. There's a lot of trading activity going on.
Yeah.
So for me, FCEL is going to be right at the top of the list. I really do like Myrna as well. I think Myrna has just been so beaten up, especially the day it had yesterday, on top of the gap down today.
Right.
I would prefer to play Myrna long for relief bounce and maybe some short covers.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't get it, then we'll let the bleeding keep happening, and eventually we'll come across that day where we can catch the relief bounce, But I do like that Myrna just had this huge drop off, and you're starting to see some higher highs come through during the pre-market, some lower highs come through. So that's a good sign,
Right.
For us to look for some long opportunities. So I'm going to keep a close eye on that. Another name as well is BLNK. Had a monster day yesterday. Absolutely insane day. Rallied from a little below 38.66 all the way up to 48.70. $10 move on what was a $40 stock. That's insane. That you're looking at a 25% gain in just one day. And I believe we played BLNK.
Yes, we did. Yep.
We did, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I think we actually played it twice, if I remember correctly.
It was one of our trades of the day yesterday.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, we called it in the morning. I think there was a bull flag here as well that some people played. So, hey, I'm looking forward to trading again today. I mean, it has some nice strength. It's actually down about 60 cents. However, if you look at what's happening during the pre-market action, you're getting a nice climb back up. And I believe on the daily, BLNK, it is an overbought territory. However, as we've seen with some of these EV names, 80 on the RSI for some reason is not overbought on these names. It's not until it starts to reach 90, 92, 93 that it's actually overbought.
Yep.
So,
yeah, it's true.
So if we are going to play BLNK to the long side, let's just take our profits quick, scalp it if anything, and not hold on to it for too long because this could reverse at any moment. Another name, Fubo. Of course, want to keep an eye out on this. Yesterday, pretty much this whole week, Fubo has just had an amazing week. This thing essentially went from $30 to $62, 100% gain in just under 4 days.
Yeah.
So we are having the sell-off that we were kind of anticipating. We were looking forward to. I was hoping that Fubo would actually gap up and we could catch a short during the morning. However, it seems that's already happened. Obviously, that's happened already. Big selling has happened. More so profit taking, it looks like, than anything. And that's okay. So let's see how Fubo starts to behave early in the morning. Or is this just the profit taking and we're going to rally back up? People are going to buy back, or are short sellers going to come in and really attack this stock and see if we can get some momentum to the downside? So Fubo is going to be up there on my list as well. I really like Plug. Plug is another name as well. The reason I really like Plug is I like what it's doing for pre-markets. It's trading within a pretty tight range. You have a lows about 36.70, highs about 37.80. So for me, on $30 stock, going right into its all-time highs, I wouldn't mind trying this. If it could hold, maybe break out above this 37.40 range, play stops around 37, 36.80, and see if we can catch some momentum. Plug on the RSI, on the daily RSI, at the close yesterday is at 78. I think you said it's around like 80 something, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like low 80s. So, again, hey, it's not until it hits 90 that it's overbought, pretty much. So,
right now it's exactly at 80 on the daily chart.
See, it's exactly, hey, that's nothing. That's nothing for these names.
Yeah, it's true. So, it's funny you say that, but it's so true.
It's true. It's true. And this is not, I don't want you guys to get used to, seeing an RSI at 80 and thinking that it's fine to just, to add into longs. That's normally not the case. I think EVs have just been such a hot sector, or that industry as a whole, anything attached to it or has anything to do with it has just been has been so strong that it's able to do this, right? This is kind of like it doesn't happen that often. So Plug, like I said, if it can break above this 37, looks around 37.40, we can try play stops around anywhere between 37 and 36.80, and see if we can capture some momentum to the upside. And then outside of that, I'm really just going to be keeping an eye on the overall market. There's some news circulating around whether or not the stimulus deal is going to get done and whatnot, because Trump's kind of threatened not signing it off on it because of the check part of it, the direct payment part.
Right.
So because of that, the market did initially sell off big time.
Yeah.
It got down to 358 from the close of 367 yesterday. And now we're actually above yesterday's high. So look at the volatility that's kind of occurred throughout the morning session alone.
Crazy.
So if we can continue the momentum to the upside, hey, I think we can play the market. But let's keep things light, right? Let's let the volatility show itself if there is going to be volatility, and then we could look to go in. Let's look a little heavier, but let's first get some basics.
Yep.
And really start to how we did yesterday. Just tally in those singles, and then occasionally we can go for the doubles and triples if the right opportunity presents itself on a volatile stock. So I'll be keeping an eye on the S&P and then also Apple.
Right.
Apple started off the day very strong yesterday, then eventually ended up selling off. We're actually getting a slight gap up today. So I think today maybe Apple may just trade the way it's traded during pre-market. It's just kind of ping-ponging back and forth between support and resistance levels.
Yep.
Unless there's some type of catalyst to come out to really send Apple up to highs or pull it down, below yesterday's lows. I think Apple has a good chance of just ping-ponging back and forth. So again, if we take these trades, let's take profits early.
Yep.
Let's not spend on them too long, and just collect singles here and there, and we'll be good to go, guys. So for my A list, FCEL, Plug, and BLNK, and then for my B list, I will have Fubo, the overall market, S&P, and then Peloton as well is the name that I want to keep an eye on. Peloton's actually gapping down, it's actually right where it closed, essentially. But we did hit that high of 166.20. RSI at the close yesterday was 79.32. So it is a little overbought off of that huge gap up it had. But I really just want to keep an eye on it today to see which direction it wants to continue in. Are we going to have a pullback, or are we going to continue yesterday's momentum? So it's something that I'm really just going to keep on the side. It's more of like, I wouldn't even call it the B list, it's probably the C list. But if Peloton can rip out of the gate strong and pick up some momentum, I'm down to play along.
Yep.
So that's pretty much my list. Let's see what FCEL did.
Yeah.
Okay, so FCEL is actually giving us another opportunity.
Right.
So perfect. Let's see what FCL can do here. We have the intraday pre-market high of 1230. Is this a real tick?
Yep.
The one that came down to 1168?
Yep, I have it.
Okay. All right. Well, that lets you know how volatile this could be.
Right. So for we have 2 minutes before the market opens. So my A list is going to be Plug, PLTR, FCEL. I'm going to keep an eye on Nikola, and Apple and Tesla. That's my A list. I've got a B list, which is going to be Moderna, BLNK, Fubo, MGNI, Airbnb, and CSIQ. That's going to be my B list. I do have a couple on my C list, but we'll keep an eye on where the hottest moves are, and we'll go from there. So CLNE, what's up with that one? Energy. This is another energy play, so same thing as FCEL. So with that being said, let's wrap up our pre-market analysis. For everyone on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. Comment, question below. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and you can join our community for free and try us out for 1 week free. And if you love what you see, hey, you can subscribe and day trade with us every single day. So stay safe out there, and we'll see you all tomorrow right before the holidays.